Tell me the fucking truth. You're not good at anything. You have no substance.
Many people refer to him as a marketing and sales guru, but I like to call him the king of cringe. If you're not familiar with Dan Lok, he's a self-proclaimed high-ticket sales expert. Now, if your definition of a high-ticket sales expert is someone who sells ridiculously expensive tickets to ambiguous seminars on extremely vague topics and steals all of his talks from other sales experts, then your definition will be spot on. Dan amassed a YouTube following of over 1.2 million subscribers by spending stupid amounts of money on advertising, as well as using massive amounts of clickbait. If you are in sales and have spent time looking around the internet for advice on how to hone your pitch or seek advice on how to handle objections, there's a good chance that you have stumbled upon one of Dan's videos. Before I completely dismantle this guy's hype, let's take a quick look at his past accomplishments and how he got started being a professional liar. According to an article published by Entrepreneur.com, Dan started 13 individual businesses over the course of his career, and all 13 failed, and before the age of 20, this guy had close to $150,000 in debt. Now, normally people would focus on this fact and explain how financially irresponsible it is to take on debt in order to start a business. But as a business owner myself, I always think about the fact that people are willing to take on hundreds of thousands in student loans in order to go to college for degrees that won't even land them a decent paying job. The article continues on to talk about how his father filed for bankruptcy and he harnessed the emotions from his mother to motivate him to be successful. He began to make a name for himself by doing manual labor jobs like mowing lawns and delivering newspapers. After attending college, he read a book by Claude Hopkins called Scientific Advertising and became obsessed with the topic of marketing. Dan then goes on to claim he dropped out of college in order to start his own advertising agency and helped his clients make millions of dollars with his copywriting skills and marketing knowledge. Now, this is where I draw the line. If you can generate such success for businesses, you should have no problem getting approval for them to use their business names in order to establish credibility. I mean, if someone made me even $1 million, let alone multiple millions, I'd let them do just about anything they wanted. However, we don't have any solid evidence for these claims that he makes. Just when you think things couldn't get any more vague with his success story, Dan claims he used the money he made from his marketing agency to buy real estate and then made enough money to retire. Dude, seriously? No actual real estate investor would say that. Anyone with real knowledge on real estate would talk about what kind of properties they own and where in the world he owns these properties. But instead, that's just the end of the conversation. Going from 20 years old and $150K in debt to retire just a few years later is absolute nonsense, and I don't buy it for a second. Plus, if real estate is what made him so wealthy, why does he coach people on sales rather than estate? What ties this whole fake guru story together is what he talks about next. He starts to claim that his father had a stroke, and during that time he was really close to securing one of his biggest business deals yet, when he realized that money wasn't everything, and so he decided to focus on helping others become successful. Why does every guru seem to have this transition? Supposedly they make a boatload of money and then start a coaching program. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're overpriced courses and mentorship programs that hundreds of people have come out and claimed are useless and basically is hours of footage of just this guy talking about himself and stroking his own ego. I found over 65 claims of fraud from one of his courses and hundreds of negative comments from people who were tricked into buying his programs, and here are some of the reviews. I had bought his High Ticket Closer certification program. You will have to pay $2,500 or more, depending on when you buy, for getting into this certification program, and it's full of useless, fictional information. I paid a quarter of 10 grand for something that I can watch on YouTube. Here is the structure of the course for those who want a quick look. First 25%, bio of Dan Lok. Next 25%, something about the mindset. Next 25%, some more motivational crap. Last 25%, which courses you should buy next. Now, part of me wants to feel bad for the people who were ripped off by Dan's overpriced programs, but the other half of me realizes that after watching less than a minute of any of his YouTube videos, I can tell that this guy is completely full of it. The guy wears a fancy suit and probably pays his audience to be there for one of his seminars, so that he can make 20 videos out of the 2-hour-long presentation he makes in order to make viewers think he's credible. Now, I would never take away from the fact that Dan is a marketing genius, as much as that pains me to say. I mean, this guy somehow has 1.2 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, and I'm sure he has made boatloads of money from selling his self-righteous trainings, but the important thing to note is that for all the money that he's made, it's hard to say if he actually has delivered the value he's saying he's worth. It seems like Dan Bilzerian and Dan Lok should be business partners with the fake lives they live. At least Dan Bilzerian can convince a few people at the poker table that he knows what he's doing. Thanks for watching, and if you think that we should defund Dan...